So we were talking about the connecting voice. We talked that there are some speakers when they speak. They don't just speak or communicate, they form a connection and a transformation in the audience. How they do this is a topic that we'll be discussing. Always start with meeting your audience where they're at. What does it mean? Get a sense of their culture, a sense of their mood, a sense of their language, their voice, their energy. Meet them in their space. In a technical term, we call it the demographic analysis. Have the flexibility to change your approach to appeal to your audience. Don't try to hide behind a formal language or the style. Instead, use the current colloquial language and speak directly to the people. Speak to your audience personally. Talk to them as if you're speaking one-to-one with each person in your audience. Tell them personal stories and anecdotes that give the audience glimpses of who you are. Be the real thing. Let your voice be honest, open, and true. In the upcoming episodes, I will explain you how to tune into your listeners and create a strong connection. Making connection is the key to successful personal conversations and intimate relationships. Your voice plays a very big part, a very big role. When you can express empathy, care, and love in your voice, connecting with others becomes natural and easy. A voice empty of meaning isn't worth much. A great voice has a sense of purpose. You want to communicate something. Listen to Ben Zander talking about music and passion, or Shukla Bose talking about schools for slum children. As a speaker, even in a one-to-one conversation, you have a gift to give the other person in your speech. When your voice works beautifully, it conveys the full message you want to share. And your listeners receive what you have to offer. Always think in terms of your intention, your desire. To understand your intention, ask yourself the following questions. What do I want? For me and for the listeners, what am I trying to say? What is extremely important for me that I want to communicate? What is the signature or the value that I can add into this conversation? Always believe you're not starting from the scratch. You probably had a lot of speaking practice before you even picked up a book, or you watched a video, or you listened to a podcast like this one. This thing is nothing but that we call collecting voices. Always try to go into the experiential learning mode and try to collect voices, and then try to listen and compare and contrast. Keep a sound archive of voices you love. Search YouTube, find the clips, find small clips on television, film, media, music. Create a folder of your favorites. Research and find wonderful voices. What's a wonderful voice? That is sounding wonderful to you. Make notes for yourself. What do you like about the speaker? The more you listen to the voices you like, the easier it becomes to replicate what you hear. Whatever we learn to speak in the first place is by listening to our parents or the people who are around us. We become like a sound sponge. I have already talked that in one of my previous episodes. As you practice listening to other speakers, this thing is called the imitation method, or the sponge method, where you try to soak in the sounds of the speakers who are there around you. Your listening skills improve. you start to hear more subtle differences in people's voices. I want you to think of this whole process as a wonderful game. When you're convinced by someone, listen for the firm chest sound in their voice. Listen to how the voice drops lower for words spoken with emotion. Listen to the lightness in the voice when the person is happy or excited. These variations, these modulations give you the potential to express yourself powerfully and authentically. Try to include live speakers in your research. When you hear someone you admire, watch out for the response of others to their delivery. Notice what gets a good response from the audience. Build up an awareness of what works and what doesn't. Try out the different voices you hear. Talk as if you are that person. Take on for yourself the characteristics that you like. Always try to understand where you are and where you are going. How your voice sounds. How close you are to the speaker's voices that you find wonderful. Listen to your voice. Grade your voice. Think in terms that you are listening to your voice as a judge. And the voice that you're listening is a contestant voice. Try to keep on changing these positions. These are called perceptual positions. Become the contestant and become the judge. Become the student, become the teacher. Keep on exchanging positions. When you do this, you can look at what needs to change for you to sound the way you want. Always keep in mind how you would like to be able to speak. There is one excellent way for getting to know what you like and owning your listening in understanding. Collecting voices is a very powerful tool for you. It's true, you will meet some hiccups from time to time, some gremlins of fear, anxiety, helplessness, hopelessness. Don't worry, we will talk about these voice gremlins, these personal blocks that are coming in your way of speaking. I will include accents in this part as they often present themselves as gremlins. Probably the most challenging of the gremlins is stuttering, and you find some of the exciting latest resources for gaining fluency in the upcoming episodes. If at times the task of developing your voice seems daunting, trust me, don't worry, you can do it. You just have to have a strong willpower. Now let's talk about choosing your method. Voice work is an activity of the body and the mind. It works best if you get a quiet physical and a quiet emotional ecosystem. Your vocal folds, your mouth, your tongue, everything is happening above your shoulders. The voice power comes from the main body below, from a robust diaphragm, a strong stance or posture, and the energy felt in your body that gives you the power to the sound of your words. If you're working with a coach, like you're working with me, or trying the various activities, you can start your voice work at various points. First is delve into the nuts and bolts of breathing, relaxation, articulation. Create the flexibility to produce a free and expressive voice. Build the strength of your intention to speak and communicate, which will give you sound energy. You can start your vocal journey from the point of simply enjoying listening to different sounds. Listen out for music, rhythm of different languages. This always brings the speech alive. Try different rhythms with emphasis. Speak loudly, softly, slow, fast, just for the joy of it. Try to do it. I want you to find yourself in your voice. Thank you so much for listening.